Good evening, students. The syllabus which I have sent you for the first term, the second chapter of civics is also the part of your syllabus, the president. Okay, in your syllabus only we will study about the president, not about the vice president. So the president, as we all know, that all the executive powers, they are in the hand of the president. He will exercise these powers either directly or through officers, those who are subordinate to him. He is the head of the state and also the supreme commander of the defense forces. So the president exercises his power on the advice of the prime minister and the council of ministers. And the constitution, as you know, that there will be a council of ministers with the prime minister at the head, and they are going to advise the president in the functioning whatever they are being done. So a qualification for your president election, a president shall be eligible for election as a president if, number one, he should be the citizen of India. All of you know that our present president is Ram Nath Kovind. You will learn the name properly. And he should have completed the age of 35 years. Is qualified for election as the member of the Lok Sabha. Means he should have qualified the elections of the Lok Sabha also. A person shall not be eligible for election as president if he hold any office of profit under the government, means that he should not be a government employee. If he will be the government employee, then he or she will not be elected as a president of India. Now, what is the composition? The president is elected indirectly by the members of the electoral college. Now, what do you mean by electoral college? It's not a college where students they are going to study. Electoral college, it consists of, number one, the elected members of both the houses of the parliament. We are having two houses, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Second, the elected members of the legislative assemblies of the state, including the national capital territory of Delhi and the union territory of Pondicherry. Clear? So the members, those who are coming from both the houses, elected members, as well as the legislative assemblies of the state, including the territories. So they will, under nominated members of either house of the parliament and state assemblies are not eligible. They are not the part of the electoral college. Which members? They are not the part? Nominal. Those who are not, they are not elected, they are nominated. So this is the composition of the electoral college. Manner, it is not there in your syllabus, but this one is very important. This point, the election of the president is held in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of the single transferable vote, and the voting at such election is done by secret ballot. Clear? So what is the reason that why the president elections, they are indirect? Now, the number one, if the president was to be elected directly by the people, he would become a rival center of power to the council of ministers. Now, as we know that prime minister is elected directly, so if president will also be elected directly, then there will be a problem between the council of the minister. Okay, and secondly, the membership in the two houses of the parliament, as you know that Lok Sabha they are having more members, Rajya Sabha they are having less members. Okay, so election of the president merely by the majority of the members of the union parliament would make him a nominee of the ruling party, like the prime minister. As you know that prime minister is coming from the Lok Sabha only. So if again president will also be elected like that way, then what will be the difference between the prime minister and the president? And the third, the president is elected by the electoral college, and it consists, as I told you, that it consists of the elected members of the two houses, okay, and legislative assemblies. Such electoral colleges would make the president to be elected representative of the whole nation, with a clear voice given to the state as well. So there will be no partiality between them, and president will be working as a representative for the people. No partiality will be there. So oath is not there in your syllabus, but just for your information, the president takes an oath in the presence of the Chief Justice of India, and if he is absent, he is not present, then senior most judges of the Supreme Court. Now, what is the term of the office? He will remain in the office for 5 years. The day he will enter, he shall continue to hold office till the expiry of his term, until his successor takes charge. So he will remain there. 5 years are the time period. He will remain as the President of India for 5 years, and he will not leave his chair until or unless new president will not take the place. Now, there is a process of impeachment. So process of impeachment means that when a president is to be impeached, means removed for violation of the constitution. So this is the process. This I will explain you, that as we know that president cannot be removed by a simple process. So the process by which the President of India can be removed is called the process for impeachment. Number 1, when the president is to be impeached, and why he will be removed? Because for the violation of the constitution. So one of the house, either house of the parliament, can level the charge, okay, can claim that president has done something wrong. The first resolution which is moved after at least 14 days notice in writing, and it should be signed by not less than 1/4 of the total members of the house. I am repeating again, a resolution which will be moved should be signed by not less than 1/4 of the total number of members of the house. Then the resolution is passed by a majority. Then that written thing will be passed as a resolution, and it should be signed by not less than 2/3 of the total membership of the house. Clear? Second, when a charge has been preferred, the other house will investigate the charge, and the president has the right to appear and to be represented at such investigation. Now one house has put the charge, passed the resolution. Now the second house will investigate that whether the charge which is put on the president, that is correct or not. So during that time, during the investigation time, the president should be present there. So if as a result of the investigation, a resolution is passed by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the total membership of the house, declared that the charge has been sustained, such a resolution will have the effect of removing the president. Means that now when a whole of the investigation is being done by that particular house, now after the investigation, that house, 2/3 of the membership of that house should sign that yes, the president has done something wrong, and it is proved, then only the president will be removed. Otherwise, if 2/3 members of that house are not agreeing, the president of India will not be removed for the process of impeachment. You got this? Okay. Now the powers, according to the powers, executive powers. So as I told you that he is the head of the union administration. All the executive orders, they are issued in the name of the president. Then he will appoint the officials of the state. He appoint prime minister, council of ministers for this prime minister advice. He summons the leaders. Then the chief justice and the judges of the Supreme Court, High Court, the governor of the states, lieutenant governor, chief commissioner, attorney generals, controllers, auditor generals, chairman, members of the union public services, chairman and members of the planning commissions, chairman and members of the economic commission, whenever appointed. So it is the work of president. Control over state governments. So the union government may give necessary directions to the state during the president rule. The control of the union government over the state is complete. Then union territories and border areas, the administration of the union territories, border areas, that is the responsibility of the president. So next it is your legislative power. Diplomatic powers are not the part. The legislative powers, lawmaking powers, addresses session of the parliament. So president will address both the houses of the parliament, number one, for the first session after each general election. Whenever the new Lok Sabha will come into existence, so he will address, means he will give a speech, he will come in the house. And the second time, commencement of first session of every year. So within 5 years